Hey, this is Jeff. Welcome to my video. This is one of my videos in my series, Discovering Kelowna. About a year ago, I moved to Kelowna and decided to set myself the personal challenge of seeing all 203 city and regional parks within the city limits in 1 year. My year's almost up and I'm getting near the end. It's going really well. Today, I am on Dilworth Mountain. So Dilworth is a large mountainous area right in the middle of the city of Kelowna. Of course, up until the 70s, it was not part of the city of Kelowna. It was kind of a wilderness area that was in between the municipality of Kelowna and the communities of Rutland and Glenmore. And I don't think very many people lived on it then. But a lot of houses were built here in the 90s and also in this century as well. So in particular, the upper parts were built this century. And now they're done. They finished about 5 years ago, as far as I can tell. And so we've got a interesting modern subdivision or series of subdivisions to explore. I think technically all the bits of the mountain that didn't end up in a residential lot or a street or something are park. I believe it's all Dilworth Mountain Park. So I'm not sure how many official trails there are, but I hear there are trails all over the mountain. So we're gonna have a look around. And in addition to that, of course, there are some neighborhood parks and things. So I think this is gonna be a big one. I think I'm gonna see some neat things, and I hope you come along with me to see what I have to show you. Hey, so here I am coming to you for my first park of the day, Dilworth Soccer Park. So this isn't really a neighborhood park. This is more of a recreational resource for the whole community on Dilworth Mountain. We've got two small soccer fields. Maybe you can make it into one big soccer field. Anyway, it's just a huge rectangular field with a fence on a nice flattened lot, clearly designed for this purpose. So I'm here on a summer weekend, but there's no one here. I imagine in a normal fall, maybe not this fall, I don't know, we'll see. Leagues for young people who play soccer probably make a lot of use of this field, and it's a great resource for the community. There's a parking lot here, but no playground or anything else like that. Just a couple of soccer fields and a portable bathroom, which is good. So if you need a place to play soccer, consider Dilworth Soccer Park. Hey, so here I am coming to you for my second park of the day. This is Cassiar Park. So this is a neighborhood park off of Cassiar Crescent. It's got a little playground, some swings, picnic table, grass. You can see the fence along the park behind me, and that whole steep slope under that fence is also technically part of the park, but there's no trails there. So this neighborhood looks like it may have even been built in the 80s. I mean, I'm figuring this out as I go along, but I suspect this whole development on the whole mountain was probably drawn up and designed in the 80s, and it took a few decades to play out. I say that because the roads are all named very thematically consistently. So here we've got Cassiar Court, right, near Cassiar Place and Cassiar Crescent, and I was just walking through another group of streets called Monashee this, Monashee that, and so if you know about BC, you know that we're talking about interior place names. There's also Selkirk, right, and Fairmont and Denali and all sorts of rivers and mountains and things from BC. So, and that goes all the way up to the top of the mountain. So either someone cottoned on and named subsequent streets with the same theme, or it was all designed at the same time and just took a while to build out, which is what I suspect, because that's what's happening with Wilden. So it's fun for me to look around and figure out how all this goes and try and solve these puzzles all by myself. It's kind of fun. Another thing, of course, about this park, you know, they put this in with some playgrounds and things for the kids in the neighborhood, but they also put it here because of the amazing view. So over my shoulder, you can see Mount Baldy, but if I turn, I don't know how it is with the glare, but you can see Black Mountain, Mine Hill, And over by that tree you can see Kirchner Mountain. So you get the whole lower Ellison region and the whole East Rutland region laid out here. It's a beautiful view, and this is still the lower slopes of Dilworth, so I know we're going to have great views all the way through this trip. So now I'm coming to you from Selkirk Park, and this is a park that is in a much newer subdivision near the top of the mountain. This is the highest part. This is the part that was developed this century, and it shows in the design of this park. You know, our last park, Cassiar Park, was a very simple design. It was just a swath of grass by the side of the road, and they put in a playground and a picnic table and some swings and teeter-totters and said it was good. There was a view, it was all nice. This one, they've got a much more developed design. This park has different sections that are separated by little fences, and there's a playground and there's a view, and we'll get to that. And I am now in a sunken area that is a basketball court surrounded by retaining wall and lots of sumac and rose bushes. And it's really interesting with the different levels and the different areas. You can really see that a lot of design thought has been put into it. And that's because even though it may be true that the whole mountain was laid out for subdivision, 30 years ago or so, they don't design the parks right away. They just say, okay, this lot's going to be a park. And then later, when they get around to it, then they design it. So this has got a much newer design. Like I said, this park does have a great view because Dilworth Mountain is right in the middle of Kelowna. As you go around the mountain, you get views all over the place. So in Cassiar Park, we were in the southeast flanks of Dilworth Mountain, and we got to look east. Here, we are on the northwest side, and we get to see all of Glenmore laid out. So you can look right across to the mountain that was burned not too long ago, and up past all the commercial and multifamily residential development. You can see all of the Glenmore Highlands with the houses of a Wilden creeping up the hillside. So it's an amazing view, and I'm sure I'm going to find more on Dilworth. So here I am coming through from my next park. This is Lillooet Park. So this is much larger than a neighborhood park. This is, I would say, a community park. This sits along Summit Drive, which is the main arterial road going right across the middle of Dilworth Mountain. We are down in a valley between the various peaks of the mountain. There is access to this park off of Lillooet, which I guess is why it's named Lillooet. There's also a Summit Park, which we'll see next. So can't call them all after the street they're mostly on, but the parking lot is off of Summit. Anyway, this park is huge and has a big soccer field and also a lacrosse box. So it is a recreational destination park for the people of the mountain. It doesn't have a playground, so it's not really a picnicking area necessarily, unless you just want to lay out your blanket on the lush green field and have a good old-fashioned picnic. The hillside you see behind me is actually also part of the park, and it's not developed or cultivated. So once again, we see natural areas being preserved on Dilworth Mountain. So it's a great park for the people of this neighborhood, and I look forward to seeing the next one. So here I am in my next park, Summit Park. Yes, this is a large piece of land along Summit Drive, and it's divided into a couple of interesting sections. So behind me, you can see to the west, there is a utility road leading up to the parking lot where I'm standing, which is home to the Summit Booster Station. and you know, it's got some grass and some native vegetation, and it's nice. I don't know how it shows up on this camera, but in the distance, that's our first view to the west showing Okanagan Lake, so that's always something fun to look for. But on the other side of this park, there's a whole other thing going on. There's a lovely field and a playground and a picnic table, and it's not connected directly to any neighborhood streets. So it's you have to follow a little walkway and then down a little path through the woods, and you get this little hidden, beautiful picnic spot, play area. It's amazing. It is a hidden gem for sure. So if you need somewhere out of the way, somewhere protected and beautiful to go for a picnic sometime, park up on Lillooet, walk down through the walkway, and you'll be in Summit Park. Hey, so here I am in my sixth and final park for this week, the park that sums it all up, Dilworth Mountain Park. Now technically, this is a park that extends over the whole mountain. Basically every strip of hillside and forest that hasn't been turned into a subdivision is part of Dilworth Mountain Park. But I think when a lot of people think of Dilworth Mountain Park, they think of this section that I'm standing in right now. This is a large section on the southwest side of the mountain where you have a relatively flat bluff. A lot of places in town you can look at Dilworth Mountain and see these huge cliffs rising on the southwest side of the mountain, and I am now on top of those cliffs. I've been all over Kelowna as part of this challenge, and from a lot of places you can look and you can see Dilworth Mountain, you can see those cliffs, and I've been wondering what it's like up here. And let me tell you, the view is great. Not only can you see all the things you would think you can see, midtown, downtown, across the water, but you can see it from pretty close. You know, a lot of places I go up on the mountains, you can see Kelowna, but it's from a distance. You can recognize the landforms and things, but this actually feels pretty close. So it's really fun to have a look at that. But I didn't just limit myself to visiting this part of the park, though this is a particularly beautiful park and not too strenuous and climby. There are lots of other trails on this mountain. I suspect a lot of them are older than the subdivisions and things. I suspect people have been climbing this mountain for a long time, but a lot of the trails are still there and are preserved to one extent or another as narrow hiking trails. And you can see behind me, over my shoulder, is the tallest peak of Dilworth Mountain. I had to climb up there as well, and I can show you the view from there. So starting with the view to the east, we can see Ellison, we can see all of Rutland, there's Black Mountain and Mine Hill. Turning some more, there's Kirshner Mountain. Below us, of course, are the lower slopes of Dilworth, where we were before. If we keep on going, I don't know if you can see Scenic Canyon there, where Mission Creek comes out of the hills. Of course, down below us is Midtown with all the shops along the highway, and then in the midground is the Mission Creek Regional Park. You can see the wooded slope, and above it are the benches. And if we keep turning, we can see more of Dilworth. There's the main part of Dilworth Mountain Park with the playground and everything down there. And then you can see all of Kelowna and Okanagan Lake in the distance. So of course on the left we go down that south to the Mission, and in the middle, that big white building, is the hospital. Across the lake you can see West Kelowna and Mount Boucherie. If I go this way around these little trees, you can see the bridge, and behind that pine tree is downtown Kelowna. So the view is amazing. And you know, I climbed around a number of other trails as well, and it was a great time. I think this is a great place to go for a little hike. The trails aren't too long, but you know, you get a good climb in, and it's near town. If you got someone in town, you want to show them a good view and a nice walk through a ponderosa meadow up on a mountain, bring them to Dilworth Mountain Park. So that was our adventure for this week on Dilworth Mountain. That was a great one. I was really looking forward to it. You know, everywhere I went throughout this challenge, I saw Dilworth Mountain there towering over every part of the city, and I just was really eager to get up here, and I'm so glad I did. We saw 6 parks this week, which is amazing. Keeps me on or ahead of pace for my challenge, which I love. And they were all great parks. We saw neighborhood parks like Cassiar and Selkirk, which has, I think, the best view of Glenmore. We saw community resources like Lillooet Park and the Dilworth Soccer Park. We saw that beautiful hidden gem that is Summit Park. And of course, the sprawling wonderland of Dilworth Mountain Park. So many things to enjoy, so many amazing views. You know, it's nearby wherever you are in Kelowna. So if you haven't, you should definitely come out and check the hiking and the parks on Dilworth Mountain. I hope you enjoyed what I had to show you this week. If you did, feel free to subscribe. I still got a few more weeks of amazing parks and things in Kelowna. And then, you know, who knows? If you like this video, hit the like button. That's always good. And I hope you tune in next week to see where I go next.